Hi, folks. I'm Gene McLaughlin. I'd like to welcome you to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. On this program, the mayor has an opportunity to chat with you about things taking place in the township and to introduce you to people making things happen in the township. Mayor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Gene. Thanks for having me.
Good, Mayor. If we can start with one of our favorite topics around here, the budget.
The budget. Yes.
I understand that progress is being made. Where are we?
We started the process late last year, early November, putting the budget together for 2016. We've prepared a budget. I believe it's a good budget. We've distributed it to the council for their review. We are in the process now of scheduling our subcommittee meetings now where the council will look at the budget page by page in each particular department, and the council will have the opportunity to see where every dollar is coming from and to see where every dollar is going.
Okay.
Those meetings will be open to the public, and I encourage everyone to come out and see where every dollar is coming from and where every dollar is going. We've made tremendous strides in our budgeting process since I've been the mayor. Very proud of what we've accomplished when it comes to budgeting here in Old Bridge. We've proven to everyone statewide that a town can dig its way out of a hole with good, sound financial practices. When I became mayor, we were in the hole to the tune of about $6 million. We dug our way out of that hole. We've provided for the last, this will be my 5th budget, that is under the 2% cap. Last year, if you remember, Gene, we had a 0% tax increase. This year, we are not going to have a zero. Our recommended budget, we're still under the 2% cap. Times are getting tough. It's getting more difficult to balance a budget under the 2% cap. We faced a lot of challenges this year. The cost of doing business continue to go up. Insurance costs have risen. Our statutory obligations have risen. Pension contributions, healthcare contributions. Everything seems to be going up. But we've faced these challenges, I think, here in Old Bridge, the way they should be faced with any municipality. As I said, Gene, we've proven that a town can dig its way out of a hole under the 2% cap. We've proven a town can settle with all its bargaining units under the 2% cap, and at the same time increase compensation. We've proven that you could run good local government for a reasonable cost. We are below average in the state of New Jersey when it comes to property tax, municipal taxes. And I know, and everybody should know in Old Bridge, that my part of the budget is less than 20% of the total tax.
I think people know that by this time.
That you pay here in Old Bridge. The average homeowner here in Old Bridge, and I say the average homeowner, pays a little over $1,500 in municipal taxes per year. And that is less probably than your cell phone bill. It's probably less than your cable bill. So we believe we provide good value here in Old Bridge. Our services have improved. And at the same time, Gene, I'm so proud to say here we are in 2016 spending less money than this town spent in 2008, 2009.
I know, that's amazing.
So
I know
we're
we
proud
talked
of what
about
we
that during the
accomplished,
campaign.
Gene, and part of our budget is our capital project investment.
Yes, sir.
Since I've been the mayor, we've invested more money into this community than ever before. The year before I took over, zero was invested in capital. There was a zero capital investment prior to me coming here. We've invested $3 million, $3 million, $4 million, $4 million again this year. And then above and beyond our typical, we've invested another $4 million into our radio system, another $4 million into our Easter program. So we've invested, we're closing in on $30 million since I've been the mayor. And those investments have paid off and increased property values. And that's what it's all about. Putting money back into the town, putting money back into the taxpayers' pockets, who now have equity built in their home because the value has risen.
The value is going to go up.
And now they can go to the bank and get a loan, or they can fix their kitchen, fix their bathroom, and again improve their investments. So that's what I think local municipal government, it's one of our biggest responsibilities, is to keep sound financial practices going on in their town and not put the town behind the 8 ball.
Okay,
So
Mayor,
we're proud
thank
of what
you.
we've accomplished.
Thank you, well said. Mayor, if I can touch on one other topic, the Route 18 bridge. I've seen some activity there. Where does that take
The project was supposed to start early February. It's been delayed till the end of February now. It should be getting started any day. I too have gone by there. The message boards have had to start the 26th. It's a Friday. The DOT starts their projects on Friday nights, so everybody has the weekend to get accustomed to the road closure, the end of detour. So the sooner they start it, the better. I wasn't crazy about starting a project like that in the beginning of February.
Right.
So maybe it's for the best that it's been, postponed for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But it'll get started and it will be completed.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I think you gave a good introduction to our guest today when you referred to capital expenditure, infrastructure improvement. And folks, to that note, we're pleased to welcome in our guest today from Public Service Electric and Gas, the regional manager of public affairs, Frank Lucchesi, who is going to discuss the new gas modernization program that will be taking place here in the township. And Frank, I'd like to welcome you. Thanks for being with us.
Great, Gene. Thanks for having us.
Thanks,
and Mayor,
Frank.
thanks for inviting us in. Thanks.
Okay, Frank, as we talked off the air, this is a rather large project.
It is.
Many people may not have an idea that's going to take place or what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Would you give us a quick overview?
Sure. It is an exciting project for us, and this kind of dovetails off of our just recent Energy Strong project that we did about a couple years ago, and that was post Hurricane Sandy replacement, where we looked in our flooded areas. But this is the Gas System Modernization Program, recently approved by the BPU. $905 million program that's going to take place over the next 3 years. We're looking to replace 510 miles of cast iron or bare steel main that's in our system.
Wow.
If you can imagine, we have about 4,000 miles of main in our roadways, but this is going to address and start to tackle about 510 miles. We're looking to do about 100 to 150 miles per year. And we're probably going to affect somewhere around 38,000 services. So we're going to be upgrading and replacing 38,000 services throughout
And this
the
is
service
throughout
territory.
the PSE&G system.
That's correct, yeah.
How much will impact the Old Bridge resident? How many miles will be repaired or replaced? When will it take place?
Yeah, so it'll be about 8 miles of cast iron main and the bare steel main in Old Bridge. It's a $9 million investment that we're going to be putting into the town. Hopefully, the project has to go out to bid, and we're waiting for that award. But for the first phase of it, obviously 2016 is when we earmark each of the projects per year. So our goal is to get that done by the end of 2016. I would assume going to start probably early spring that we're going to get going here in Old Bridge Township.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Mayor, in addition to the investment that PSE&G is going to be making, I suspect this is a large investment of resources on the part of the township, yes?
Yes, Gene, we're going to have to coordinate with PSE&G, and I have to publicly thank them for investing $9 million in Old Bridge. It's important that our infrastructure be maintained. We have the bridges being rebuilt here in Old Bridge. We have our electrical provider upgrading its substations as a result of Sandy, and being able to isolate outages to better serve our customers. Whereas, we can isolate a street now with the improvements at the substations. And with the gas infrastructure improvement, it's going to provide better, safer service to our residents. And, we're all for investment into our community. And the township resources will be available. We will be recompensated for some of them, as the contractors will be responsible for providing, the public safety, whatever our public safety department thinks is needed at that site, whether the street needs to be closed, whether police just need to be present to make sure traffic is, going by the construction zone safely. But we're all for that, Gene. I mean, we're behind the project 100%. We think it's good when anybody comes into town and invests that kind of money.
Definitely. Okay, Mayor, thank you. Frank, do you have a list? I assume you do a list of the areas, roads that will be affected. And we will put this on the website, folks, and we'll put it on the channel as well.
Right.
But Frank, maybe a couple of indications where work will take place.
I will, and your point is well taken. The communication will be paramount. Obviously, we discussed the whole project with the mayor and his administration.
Yes, sir.
To start to move that forward, and we'll absolutely be communicating with the residents out there. Letters will be mailed to each of them. Door knockers will be put on all the doors of those residents where the service is going to be upgraded, with a 800 number that they'll be able to call if they have any questions or concerns or any issues whatsoever. They can call that number and we can get that going. And there'll always be a PSE&G supervisor and inspector on site. PSE&G crews will be doing some of the work. Obviously, it's a big undertaking with this project, so we'll have outside contractors working on that as well, but there'll always be a PSE&G representative, whether it's a supervisor or inspector, on site coordinating with the residents. So to that note, our first phase for 2016, we're looking at the Madison Park section of town. We'll be doing some work. South Old Bridge area, Mayor, will be doing some work out in that section as well. And in the Southwood section of town, we'll also be doing some work for the first phase.
Okay, thank you, Frank. And folks, we are going to put this, as I said, on the website and on the channel so you can see the exact streets that will be affected. And as Frank also indicated, we don't want anybody to be surprised about this taking place, right, Frank?
Yeah, that's correct. And that's why we try to get out in front of that right away. So the residents know what's going on. And even if there is any questions, again, letters sent, constant communication through the mayor's office, communication with the residents, even as we're doing the conversion and the changeover. Once the main is put in, that'll all be coordinated directly with the resident.
Okay, Frank, thank you. Frank, I take it that most of these mains or most of these pipings are along the road, the main thoroughfares?
They are, yeah. Most of them are along the curb line. That's where we'll spend the majority of our time. In some cases, they might be on the, on the inside the curb line. The majority of them are on the outside of the curb line. If it is on the property, the owner of the property, obviously everything will be restored as if it, as if nothing ever happened. But from a restoration process, once we do that, that gas main replacement from the curb line to the outside of the first cut, that'll all be paved, including the laterals. That's what we refer to, the laterals that actually feed the customers' homes. Those will all be done, and so it won't be patches. It'll be one straight, paved, restoration process as we complete the jobs.
Okay, and Frank, you just brought up something I'd like to clarify. Once the main road or the main piping is done on the road, now you have to, the laterals you call them?
Correct.
Running from the street into the individual's homes?
Correct. Yep.
All the way.
That'll be replaced all the way to the meter. All the way to the meter. All that new piping, and so it's a high durable plastic piping. Sometimes it's a coated steel pipe, but the majority of it, that's the new technology. It's all high durable plastic piping, and that'll be done, not only from the main, but also those laterals that'll feed the home to the meter. If a new meter is needed, we will replace that meter. In most cases, we don't anticipate the meters that need to be replaced. But obviously, if the meter is dated, we will absolutely, at no cost to the customer.
That's what I was going to ask you. There's no cost to the customer replacing a meter.
Yeah, this whole project has no cost to the resident.
Okay, and that in itself is good news, right, Mayor?
Yes.
You like to hear
Somebody's
that,
paying
right?
for it.
Somebody's paying for it now, yeah. I'm sure somebody's paying for it. Frank, how much access do you need to the people's houses? How much time do they have to devote to be there for you?
Yeah, so I mean, during the normal course of work, obviously they don't need to be, at their home. Where we will need them is when we're done doing that connection to their home. That'll be coordinated, when we do the reconnection for the customer. A customer can anticipate once we're ready to tie the new system in, and we'll make appointments with all the customers, so it'll be at their, at their availability and their schedule. There'll be an outage of approximately 4 hours for that resident while we tie in the new system and the new service, feed it back into the house. The inspector makes sure everything is properly done. Appliances are all taken care of. Everything's fired up complete and running efficiently. Once that's done, it's an approximate 4-hour estimation of how long the customer will be out. But that scheduling and the appointments will all be done individually with each customer based on their schedule. If there's any apartment complexes or any any multifamily dwellings of sort, that'll either be coordinated through either the superintendent of the property or homeowners association, but that'll be all coordinated as well.
Okay, well, thank you, Frank. And folks, we're talking right now to Frank Lucchesi, who is the Regional Manager of Public Affairs for PSE&G. He's been outlining the program that's about to take place in Old Bridge to modernize the gas line system. Please stay with us, and we'll be back in a moment.
Every child needs a place
where they can grow up healthy
and learn and be safe. In the Habitat house,
my parents helped build.
my parents, my mommy and daddy. I study. I grow.
I learn.
I live. Your support can help put a decent roof over the heads of a family like mine.
Like mine.
Like mine. To learn how you can help, visit habitat.org.
The research here at St. Jude is very important. It gave my daughter a second chance at life.
We're developing tomorrow's cures today so that everyone around the world can benefit from those therapies.
La parte de investigación en el hospital es fundamental, porque si no hubiera eso, no habría ese porcentaje tan alto de supervivencia que dan.
Treatments invented at St. Jude have helped push the overall childhood cancer survival rate from 20% to more than 80% since it opened 50 years ago. And we won't stop until no child dies from cancer.
We are not just publishing a paper, but we're making changes to patient care.
Because we have donors that believe in what we're doing, we can really move our research forward much faster.
One life saved at St. Jude means thousands elsewhere.
Because of you. Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Your seat cushion can be used to grant wishes.
Who said that? Hello?
Really can, you know.
You talking to me?
Sure am. Because the airline miles you earn and donate to Make-A-Wish can help send thousands of kids on their wish trips. So donate to Make-A-Wish today.
You really should, you know. You really should.
And give wishes wings. Because wishes work wonders.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Folks, welcome back to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. We're talking with Frank Lucchesi, the Public Affairs Manager for PSE&G, about this new gas modernization program that will be taking place in the township. Frank, if we can pick up, we've talked a lot about what's going to take place. One or two things we may want to touch on and emphasize. After the road has been dug up, the new pipe has been put in.
Yes.
You're going to leave some debris around. How does it get restored, and when does it get restored?
Yeah, good point, and I think it's important for the residents to know that there is obviously a process there. We try to make it as least cumbersome as possible, but yes, obviously we're doing construction work,
right?
And so what ends up happening after the main is done, there'll be a temporary repair because we need the ground to settle, obviously.
Right.
So there'll be a temporary repair of it, and we usually let that settle for about 60 to 90 days. And then once that settling is complete, as I mentioned earlier, we'll come in and do the full restoration, obviously weather permitting, but we'll do the full restoration of the work. And again, that goes from curb line to outside of that cut. That'll go straight down. So it won't be patches. It'll be straight down. But once the settling is complete, we'll do that. So I just want the residents to know that they may see that temporary patching in the beginning, and that's okay. Obviously, any concerns, anything else, will obviously be around to address some deep settling if that happens. But for the most part, 60 to 90-day process, and then the full restoration will take place.
Okay, how about lawns? If you have to go across people's lawns to run these laterals?
Yep, same thing. We will absolutely restore that to the way it was, and we'll work with the resident to make sure that they're absolutely happy with the restoration.
Okay, thank you. Mayor, I assume some road closures again, huh? Some detours? How are we going to handle it?
Minimal impacting. And residents need to know, this type of work has gone on in town already.
Yes, absolutely,
We've seen it, and we've got the complaints. Look what they did to my street. You know, hold on, they're going to come back and fix it. No, they're not. They're gone.
Right.
But then they've come back and repaired the roadway. And it's been minimal impact. And yes, sometimes the road, for safety, the road needs to be shut down. For local, if residents need to get by, they'll be allowed to go by most of the time if they're allowed. But we want to close it to through traffic.
Right,
and
yes, sir.
So, and not only for the safety, but for the safety of the workers.
Yeah.
They have a hard enough job working with heavy equipment, open trenches. They don't need to be looking out for somebody, seeing what's going on, rubbernecking, and hitting a construction worker.
Mayor, safety obviously is the number one concern.
And
safety first.
That's the only reason a road would be shut down, for safety.
And the coordination with the police has always been great, even with the work that we've done, and that coordination has been very effective when we're doing work, particularly in a situation
and again,
like this.
depending on the road, if it's a main road through a development, a little extra might have to. If it's just a side road, it's not going to require much in the way of public safety resources. But we'll take each road individually, and each day we'll coordinate with the contractor, with PSE&G, what's going to be getting done each day, when they're going to finish up, and to make sure that the road, when they're done with their work, that the road remains safe for passage and people can get to and from where they need to go.
Okay, good. Thank you. Frank, safety, you mentioned safety. I think people get a little squirrely these days when the subject of natural gas comes up. The dangerous aspects of it, that it can create some problems. It has created some problems. How safe is it in terms of the residents?
Yeah, I mean, historically, our gas system has always been one of the safest around. Issues do occur, but for the most part, our system's always been very safe, very reliable, and very efficient. I mean, from a historical standpoint, if you really look at the percentage, it's minuscule.
Really?
Some of the issues that we have, and we take that very seriously. Our electric delivery we take very seriously. Our gas delivery we take very seriously. So part of why we're doing this is obviously to upgrade that reliability to the system. I mentioned before, it's a new plastic piping system that we're installing, and it does a couple things. Obviously, less leak issue, that we have. There's systems built into it that if there is a leak, there's valve protection in there that actually reduces the amount of gas flow where that leak is occurring. We get less methane gas smell that'll occur, and for the residents, they'll actually be able to choose and be able to look at high efficiency appliances for their home. More energy efficient, keeping that gas and electric bill down. I know it's funny to probably hear me say, but being energy efficient is important to us as well. So there is those options there. So.
But you touch on an interesting point, because you sort of answered my next question. That is, the end benefit to the consumer is what? To the resident, helping them upgrade their appliances if necessary, and potentially save some money on their gas bill.
Yeah, and that's part of it. But the safety of the system obviously is number one for some businesses as well. In certain areas, it'll increase the pressure that'll go through the gas, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. You want that constant flow of pressure going through the system. There are some businesses, whether it be manufacturing businesses, restaurant businesses, that depend on that high volume of gas that comes through. This does it in a very safe and effective manner.
Okay.
And Jim, let me just say,
please, Mayor.
these pipes and valves, they've been in the ground for over 60 years.
Yeah.
So they're reaching the end of their life expectancy.
Well, I guess.
And the only problems we've had in town with gas issues has been, the human element have come into excavating and hitting mains and people
actually,
doing
right.
things at home and valves not operating.
Correct.
I've seen a big improvement with this plastic pipe where they can isolate. They actually squish the plastic pipe, shut it off. They don't have to find a valve.
Yep.
And a lot of times they find these valves in the street. They've been paved over, and it's delayed. You know, since I've been the mayor.
Yeah.
And it's scary when you go to a neighborhood and you're smelling gas and we're
that's
running
what I was
like
getting at
crazy up and
before,
down the street, knocking on doors, getting people out of homes.
Right.
Because you know, it's like you said, Jane. You know, gas. We've seen some catastrophic.
We've seen some
failures
catastrophes.
throughout
That's
the
what I was
state, and
thinking
We've
of,
been lucky
right.
here in Old Bridge so this is a big step in the right direction to get this old stuff out of service. It served us well for the 65 years it's been there.
Yeah, and the mayor, some of them have been in the ground even longer.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're a 100-year-old company, you know, 100-year-old
Yeah.
plus company. But yeah, to your point, you know, just make sure if any of the residents do any work, please call before you dig. You know, it's the 811
magic
call.
word, right?
Call before you dig. So
Okay.
very important that you do that. And yeah, human error does you know, play a role into that, but. You know, again, safety of the utmost importance to us and reliability to our customers, I think is paramount.
Okay, Frank, while we have you here, I'd like to just divert, if I could, to the problem that seems to be popping up more and more. And these are these scam phone calls to residents about their heating bill, their public service gas, electric, and so on, various threats. They don't make a payment. They don't put it on their credit card. What's going on there?
Yeah, so there are scams that are out there. Unfortunately, you know, they're, I guess, everybody tries to, you know, figure out a way to make money somehow, and they, and some of them have been effective in calling our customers, demanding payment right away. If not, where there's a PSE&G truck right up the street that's going to shut you off. And Gene, that doesn't happen. I mean, we give residents a lot of advance notice. You know, obviously economic times, you know, if someone's having trouble paying the bill, we work with them. We'll work on a payment plan to help them, you know, help them make sure that their, you know, their gas and electric is flowing.
But you would never make a call like this. You should advise people of that.
We would never make a call like that. Obviously, there would be noticed from us. But to the residents, if you're getting calls from a company claiming that if you don't make a payment on your credit card to Western Union, or give me your card number right now and I'll avoid shutting you off, don't do it. And if you ever suspect that is a scam, or you're not sure if it's a PSE&G, a legitimate PSE&G representative, then we'll give you the 800 number to call. And the you know, we can put it up on the website as well.
We will put it up on the website.
Yeah, we can give you the 800 number to call, and a customer service representative will be more than happy to help you out.
And that's a special line just for the scams?
Yeah, well, it's not special just for the scams, but it's a line for our customer service.
Would this be the same line for information
It is,
about the repair and the road work?
Well, the road work will have its own number.
Well, I meant to say the gas program.
Yeah, the gas program will have its own number. So if someone has a specific, but any questions, electric and gas, account information, they can go online, obviously, and set up their, what we call our My Account system, where they can monitor their usage and pay their bill, and they can actually look at outage information. They can get real-time outage information.
Can they?
Yeah, they can get real-time outage information, which is really good. But there's the customer service hotline just for general, you know, gas and electric questions, payment questions, and whatnot. But again, customers out there, if somebody's requiring you to pay on a credit card and they want that money right now, or they're going to shut you off, don't do it. Call us and verify that that's the case.
Okay, well said. Frank, want to thank you for taking the time to come in today to talk to us.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
And Mayor, looks like another improvement to the infrastructure, as we constantly talk about it. Okay, well, folks, this has been Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. Our guest has been Frank Lucchesi from PSE&G, talking about this new program you'll be hearing much more about. We're going to be putting up on the screen and on the website the important information about the road closures and important telephone numbers for you to call if you have any doubts, if you have any questions that need answering. I want to thank you for watching. This has been Old Bridge Outlook. I'm Gene McLaughlin. Take care.